There's one thing that we can expect of technology is that it is going to be more complex and more sophisticated, and that the world around us will be getting more automated rather than less. What can your customers expect from this new set of tools that you are helping them to implement?
Well, actually, automation is here, yes. So customers are analyzing, are looking into this opportunity, and they want to use, but they want to look for the real benefits in the organization coming with the automation.
Show me the money.
Instead of implementing automation, as for its own purpose. So they need to find a value standing behind the automation, but the value is, it's obvious today. We can figure out multiple examples when the business is supported with different automations. And
what have been some of the more interesting ones that you've seen lately?
Well, I might talk about what we are doing here in XPLUS about automation. As it's any secret, we've developed Executive Automats, the tool which is automating human behavior in regards to some specific areas concerning testing and performance tests, documentation creation, security testing. It's like multiple purpose tool, but it's actually about mimicking user actions. So the tool has been designed to allow users to do something in the application and then to run robots who are doing the same. And well,
so this is a predictive tool or a diagnostic tool or
well, diagnosis is something
mixture.
else. We may talk about this diagnostic approach separately. This is I would be happy to talk about that, but this is about execution tool. Like someone designs what need to be automated, and then robots run just to have it done. Because well, in ERP world and actually in cloud, Justyna might probably talk a lot about one version and upgrading the platform within the time, but the specific of the application requires recurring tests executed on the platform. And in the past, and actually still today, many customers are testing it manually, involving many, I would say, large teams.
Hours and hours and hours.
And hours and hours and money.
Yeah.
And today, actually, with the use of Executive Automats, you might just automate it. So if something is repeatable, if it requires repeatable human behavior, you might just design it properly, and you might, use those robots just to make it on your behalf. What
about the particular increment of benefit here? Because I remember not very long ago, a very well-known bank shifted their wholesale loan contract analysis from human reading of reams and reams of paper to a machine system, and they went from some hundreds of thousands of man-hours per year to single seconds per contract. Are we talking about this sort of level of benefit?
Yes, this and well, yeah, this is. We can talk about, for example, business process discovery. What you've mentioned is something more related to robotic process automation, because probably some processes were moved from the back office, from the people, from the users, or from the employees' responsibilities to robots. From our perspective, like we are talking about upgrades, one of the area that might be heavily supported with tools is this process analysis, process discovery coming together with the upgrade. Those applications that are planned for upgrade are super complex, that are developed for many years, modified a lot within their life cycle, within the entire life cycle of the application. And when it comes to the upgrade, customer need to, analyze what is on the table, what need to be upgraded. And and customers are doing a lot to know their business processes and to understand what is actually critical, what might be a challenge when planning the upgrade. But the devil is in the details, and actually
So are the angels.
yeah, so it's like thinking about automation. We, as a development of executive automats in time, we've introduced the idea to identify, to discover business processes in the application automatically, which might shorten the analysis time dramatically. And customers find its value because before the upgrade, they might analyze what's actually what is utilized in the application. They might actually build a heat map of the application, so they might find out where users are working on the application, what is used, and what might be more important, what they are not using at all. Because when you need to upgrade the ecosystem. And if there is something which is, regardless, big or not big, it might be challenging from the
It's a wasted resource, right?
Yeah. So you are upgrading something that might not be really needed from the business perspective, because even though it's in the application right now, business is not really using this at all. So having the automated business process discovery tools in place, you might just secure yourself that the entire upgrade will be easier, cheaper, and of higher quality, actually.
I think that we need to take this also from the aspect of the customer. I mean, we are actually using the solution that was mentioned. And what I can say is the most successful companies are deploying 10 times often than those that are not. Meaning that if you want to deploy and change the system more often, you need to automate things. And for that reason, actually executive automats help us a lot. I mean, anyone who make the tests and know how it goes, you need to keep the scenario and click doing things. It's sometimes it's so much boring. And then if you do it, if you want to have it, more often, every deployment you need to test it. At some point, people will not be so much enthusiastic about doing that. So that's why I'm very happy that we have some solutions that can give you the opportunity actually to automate things that are extremely boring. You can do it 1, 2, 3 times, then it's really, it's a punishment. And we don't want to punish our people, of course. So that's why this actually helps, first of all, to motivate people that, okay, we won't take the boring stuff out of you. And then we want to make sure that this is a repetitive task. I mean, that it will always end up the same way, and we know the results. We can also take the executive automats directly to the developers. So developer doesn't have to ask the user, hey, test it. You can run the script yourself. And the last thing is that actually, thanks to those scenarios, we have the definition of how user is using the system. And that is very big benefits, because based on that, you can actually have the auto documentation, you can have easy manual for the users and so on. So from that perspective, that brings the ability to help the company to succeed. Because like I mentioned, the key aspect is to adapt to the new situation, meaning you also have to update the code. You need to modify the system. And you cannot modify it without testing. What has been said as well is that it's complex. So if you don't have the simple way to test it, well, you will fail.